Just picture yourself watching a national news program when a psychiatrist delivers advice so shocking that everyone asks, "Is this for real?" It happened just like that on MSNBC when a visiting psychiatrist offered advice that many are describing as twisted and quite contentious. Stay tuned as we break down the outlandish responses, including Gutfeld's venomous analysis. I guarantee you that this in-depth examination of one of the most hotly contested TV moments of late will not be something you want to miss. News stories often seem to spark heated conversations, but every so often something happens that really elevates the topic. Outrage from all corners of the political spectrum ensued after a psychiatrist's advice was broadcast on a recent MSNBC episode. The remarks caused quite a stir on Gutfeld, a highly watched late-night commentary show, because they were so surprising. A number of people, including Gutfeld, attacked the psychiatrist's viewpoint, calling it twisted and damaging. However, a few stood by it. A media frenzy has broken out as a result, with responses from all sides flooding social media. Our focus in today's film will be on the statements made, the reaction from Gutfeld, and the broader consequences of this incident. Because this one is so exciting, you have to see it all the way to the finish to find out what happens. It all began with an MSNBC episode that explored the relationship between mental health and contemporary politics. Shocking advice was offered by the guest psychiatrist. Is that what she suggested? That many individuals resort to deceitful and damaging psychological practices as a means of coping with their political disappointments. Among the psychiatrist's remarks was some guidance on how to talk to loved ones who have different political opinions than one's own. Some saw this as an opportunity to learn from one another, while others saw it as a call to anger or suspicion. Critics accused the psychiatrist of using his position to advance his own agenda, and the comments soon became a topic of conversation. Host Greg Gutfeld and his panel were naturally interested in the dispute. Gutfeld, who was well known for his forthright beliefs and quick humor, did not hesitate to respond to the psychiatrist's remarks. "Twisted," he said, "casting doubt on its moral foundations. This statement has the ability to damage relationships and cause unneeded friction in families and friendships," according to Gutfeld and his guests on the show. Many viewers agreed with one panelist's assessment that the recommendations seemed to value political ideology more than personal connection. Gutfeld also attacked the media as a whole, arguing that incidents like this show how important it is to have responsible and balanced reporting. He wasted no time slamming MSNBC for what he saw as an ongoing trend of putting sensationalism ahead of serious debate. The video snippets from Gutfeld and MSNBC quickly went viral, turning social media into a heated debate ground. Users began to share their thoughts on the incident using trending hashtags such as MSNBC advice fail and Gutfeld react. Gutfeld backers lauded his analysis, stating that he has the guts to condemn damaging rhetoric. This kind of advice is not only contorted but downright dangerous, one user responded in response to Gutfeld's assertion. The media must be held responsible for the content they broadcast. Still others came to the psychiatrist's defense, saying the criticism was unwarranted and that her remarks were misquoted. Passionate discussions about whether the psychiatrist's counsel was actually beneficial or violated ethical bounds erupted into online forums and comment sections, fueling the argument. But most people were skeptical of her motives and agreed with Gutfeld's criticism. There is a systemic problem with the way media outlets cover delicate subjects like politics and mental health, and this controversy isn't limited to a single psychiatrist or episode. The MSNBC segment's detractors say that combining the two subjects, particularly when presented without enough subtlety, can lead to divisive and damaging advice. While we were talking about this, Gutfeld brought up a valid point. What kind of responsibility do media outlets have when they broadcast such advice? Such incidents only deepen the public's mistrust of the mainstream media, which is already on the decline. This episode taught many people to think twice before believing anything, particularly when it comes to contentious or divisive issues. The incident has sparked polarized views which mirror the present political and cultural atmosphere. One positive aspect is the increased need for discussions around mental health, particularly during difficult circumstances. Furthermore, there is a significant amount of worry regarding the framing of these interactions and whether they are being utilized to promote particular narratives. Perhaps the psychiatrist's counsel appeared benign or even illuminating to some, but for many others, including Gutfeld, it exemplified how easily political rhetoric can infiltrate expert opinion. This schism emphasizes the need to tread carefully when broaching such subjects, making sure that debates are based on real caring rather than political goals. People in the media and those who watch the news can learn a lot from this controversy when hearing advice or information on contentious issues It is important to always consider the context and intention of the source. Content on platforms should be ethical and balanced, especially when it deals with delicate topics like mental health. Maintaining connections, personal relationships shouldn't have to be sacrificed due to political differences. Emphasizing empathy and understanding rather than dividing people is crucial. The larger point is obvious, even if Gutfeld pointed out the psychiatrist's remarks, we should all be careful how we interact with people who have different opinions from us, whether online or in real life. Will MSNBC address the backlash as the discussion rages on? Will people think twice before discussing how politics and mental health interact as a result of this controversy? At least for the time being, the responses from Gutfeld and others have ignited an important conversation, and it won't go away soon. Beyond being a mere headline, this story captures the difficulties we encounter when navigating contemporary discourse and media. It serves as a cautionary tale about the need to handle delicate subjects with care, from the psychiatrist's contentious recommendations to Gutfeld's enraged response. Irrespective of your stance on Gutfeld, this incident has undeniably made an impression. The ethics of talking about mental health on such prominent venues is one of the most important questions brought up by this controversy. Raising awareness of mental health concerns is crucial, but experts stress the need of being careful and precise while having these discussions. Those who took issue with the psychiatrist's recommendations saw it as crossing the line between impartial advice and biased political commentary. The incident prompts mental health practitioners to reflect on the obligations they have when speaking to large groups of people. Misunderstood or inappropriately applied advice can reach millions of people through public platforms like MSNBC. The segment's detractors stress that the psychiatrist ought to have thought about the possibility of misunderstanding and refrain from making generalizations that can be perceived as contentious. Gutfeld brought attention to the fact that these kinds of incidents undermine public faith in media organizations during the conversation. He raised the question of whether media organizations value sensationalism more than substantive reporting, especially on delicate subjects like mental health. The larger media ecosystem that promotes such views without adequate evaluation was also the target of his criticism, which did not stop with the psychiatrist's remarks. Instead of further dividing society, Gutfeld said media outlets should work to bring people together. Discussions about mental health, he said, should seek to unite people, not drive a wedge between those who hold different political views. In a similar vein, his panelists emphasized the significance of background information and unbiased viewpoints in these types of conversations. The onus is squarely on the shoulders of the media and public personalities, but the onus is equally on the viewers to ensure that they are held to account. The impact of audience response is seen in the massive backlash to the MSNBC segment and the support for Gutfeld assessment. Viewers in the modern era no longer sit on the sidelines and take part in shaping the story through their online comments. Viewers should always approach media with a critical perspective, as this occurrence serves as a reminder. Seeking context, verifying assertions, and engaging in serious discussions are more important than taking comments at face value. This is one way that viewers may help create a more honest and accountable media landscape. Media outlets can learn a lesson about how to handle delicate subjects by analyzing the issue. Media outlets can enhance their work in the following ways before inviting experts to talk about sensitive subjects like mental health. Be sure they can give advice that is both detailed and taken into context. To avoid any confusion or injury, make sure to review statements and suggestions before they are broadcast. In order to promote understanding instead of division, it is important to establish environments where different viewpoints can be voiced politely. Address conflicts openly and take measures to avoid future occurrences of the same or comparable issues. Media organizations may restore public faith in them and help foster more responsible and substantive public debate by adopting these policies. It is becoming increasingly apparent that this catastrophe will have long-term consequences once the dust settles. It serves as a timely reminder of the significance of rigorous editorial review for MSNBC. According to Gutfeld, this is just one more way his show challenges and critiques conventional wisdom. Plus, it's a reminder to watch what you consume and be active in the world around you. The tale has ignited vital discussions regarding the relationship between politics, media ethics, and mental health. The debate around it may die down, but the principles it imparts will remain relevant for a long time. On this contentious issue, what is your opinion? In your opinion, was the psychiatrist's counsel misunderstood, or did Gutfeld respond appropriately? Leave your ideas in the comments and stay tuned for more in-depth analyses of today's top news stories.